My name is Matt Hilton. I'm the Assistant Director of Community for Square Enix. We're here today talking about Final Fantasy XIV Heavensward. One of the big things that actually sets it apart as an expansion is the fact that the story actually continues from the main storyline. So ever since we relaunched nearly 2 years ago, we've been building this whole story throughout each of our updates. And Heavensward actually is the continuation of the final cliffhanger from A Realm Reborn. So players who have been playing this whole time, they recently got the final story patch. This major, not traumatic, but major event that happened, and that's actually what's going to kind of push, literally and figuratively, players into the Heavensward areas. This is a good chance for, fitting the motif of the story of Heavensward, going towards the heavens. We actually thought it would be a great chance to actually introduce those. So these flying mounts are not just, for travel and traversal, but also actually for exploration, because a lot of our new areas in Heavensward are actually almost double the size of A Realm Reborn. So you're actually going to need to use these flying mounts pretty often to actually get into the nook and crannies and find all the new hidden secrets. One of the interesting things is each of the environments themselves actually look pretty different from each other, so you actually have a really good feel of where you are at the time and what you're doing there. Of course, we have some continuation of our existing areas. We have the Kurthus area, which is really snowy and really harsh winters and things like that. But we also have the more fantastical floating continents, floating islands that players will be able to explore for the first time. Because in the past they've been kind of grounded in the game, not only stuck on the ground, but also this actually allows them to kind of think outside the box and kind of see these new worlds that we've been able to create up in the sky above Eorzea.
When it comes to a game like this, you guys have had, closed betas and other types of things. What role has that played in what ultimately is in the version that players all get to play?
Yeah, I mean, the betas and things like that leading up to launch, even early access, has been super important. And then even after that, once we did launch, we kept that kind of fan feedback coming. We have our official forums, of course, my job specifically is the forums, Twitter, Facebook, and things like that, and just gathering fan feedback so the dev team has like a really good idea of what players are asking for, what they want to do, what kind of stuff they want to see in the future. And so we don't have to worry about, focusing only on beta content and feedback like that, because we have our live game now. We're actually able to keep it in constantly coming in. So even leading up towards Heavensward, we've been able to see what players are wanting to do in the expansion and kind of making that stuff a reality before it even comes out.
When it comes to the post-launch, what are things people are asking for now?
I think a lot of the stuff that they've been asking for a while is some even like the quality of life adjustments. Not only just the new content, new jobs and story and all that stuff, but also like just how they play the game. And that's one of the things that the dev team's been kind of getting their feedback the most on, and trying to make it so that the experience for them is as comfortable and as fun as possible, and not worrying about so much like, well, this is a really fun system, but this kind of thing kind of makes it frustrating. So we kind of eliminate those frustrations. And one of the big things they're looking forward to now in the next, in our expansion, is our expanding upon the ability to kind of have more access to this kind of high-end raid content we have. So previously in the Realm Reborn, we had this really high-level content that only like the top-tier players could kind of get into first, to the new story, first, kind of world first. And it's really tough for like the casual players who didn't have a chance, to get the best gear and things like that. So one of the things we listened to was the fact that, these kind of players don't want to wait until, a few months down the line when we kind of ease up on the difficulty or make it a little bit easier for them. They want to see it right away. So one of the things we decided to do with Heavensward is actually going to have this new content that's high level, the Alexander raid, Final Fantasy Alexander. And we're actually going to have a version for players who aren't the top tier available right away. Once they're able to play that, they don't have to wait until months down the line. So we're going to have that version for them, the story kind of normal mode, and then we're also going to have the hardcore version for our hardcore raiders. So it's kind of the best of both worlds for both types of players we have.